So yesterday I uploaded a video outlining my spending for 2025 for last year, and today I've developed a couple of budgets for 2026. One kind of realistic budget, shall we say, and another one which is ridiculously low, and I'll present those next, and then we're going to go for a nice long hike. Right, so before we go on a walk, we're going forward in time now, because I recorded this bit after the walk, but I'm putting it into the video before the walk. How much did I spend last year? Just recap. My complete spend as a car dweller was a whopping, if we remember, £20,179, or £55.30 a week. Now, a big chunk of the cost will not occur this year, and that was the how much was it? The ferry costs, which was, let me go back to those ferry costs were £5,400 a year, so £450 a month, because I was going backwards and forwards on the Isle of Wight car ferry, which is the most expensive crossing in the world per mile. So it costs about 130 to £150 for a return ticket. At the slightly cheaper end of the range, and then at the height of the season in midsummer it can go up to £200 for a crossing. Hence the £5,400 odd for the ferry cost. Right, let's go back to today's budget. So basically last year, to recap, I spent about £20,179 over the year, but that included that expensive ferry crossing, £55 a day. So I've been working on reducing the budget significantly. I've got two budgets for 2026 for this coming year I've worked out here, two target budgets. Let's have a look then. So for the car costs, I've shaved it down from £8,510, which included the multiple ferry crossings, to £4,690. So just by reducing, or by the fact that my contract ends, so I won't be doing the cross-Solent ferry crossing a lot, I've shaved off a substantial amount of money. I've still assumed several ferry crossings a year, because I go down to Cornwall, come back to the Isle of Wight. But £4,690 now is my car and travel associated costs. Moving down to coffees, teas and food, I've reduced that from £7,409, which I estimated I spent last year, 2025, to £5,490. So shaved a grand or two off of there, which is really good. Then down to the more miscellaneous costs, technology. Oh yeah, this includes 1 month's worth of rent, because I'm renting a room during my car build for January, just up there. So this includes that. It also includes airfare, because I'm going to, at the end of this year, I'll be going to Southeast Asia to spend a month or two for the winter, rather than living in the car over the winter this coming year. So I've added those costs in. So those miscellaneous costs are £4,470 for the year, giving us a grand total of £14,655 for this coming year, with this particular budget, down from £20,179. So good saving, and that's down from £55.30 a day to £40 a day. But I've got a stretch budget as well. Just quickly run through that. Well, I won't run through that, I'll just say what the end result is. It's down from £20,179 last year, and £14,655, which was my realistic budget for this year, down to £13,755. I can't get it any lower than that. But I've also added in for a new van, which takes it right up again. So I've given myself a fund of £4,000 for a new van, and that takes it right up again to £17,655. Now, I probably will have to buy a van this year. Everyone's saying you're stupid living in a car. and I agree, but I do need the funds to actually buy a van, which I will be saving by cutting out the ferry crossings apart from anything else. I mean, the ferry crossings alone that I spent money on last year would probably have funded a really good van, but then again, I had a contract, I was working, that has enabled me to save at least some money. So anyway, 17,655 is basically a combination of the van plus the slightly unrealistic, very low spending budget for this year, and it would go up to, what would it be if I assumed the more realistic spending budget for this year? 14,655 plus 4, 14, so about £18,000 thereabouts, which is going to be about £45 a month. I don't think I can get it any lower than that. I need to buy the van. The airfare's in there for getting to Southeast Asia. That's a luxury, but I don't want to spend another winter, particularly in the UK. Whether I was living in the car anyway, I wouldn't want to be doing that anyway. There we go. So criticise me or comment in the comments section at will, and I will now add in the walk that I did earlier today. Thank you for watching this section. Right, back to the the walk section of the video. Notice my cough is still there in the background. So as you know, I'm getting the car built out. I say built out, I'm getting a new cabinet done over there, and I'm getting the bed frame done. So I've got a room up there just for this month, where a load of the stuff from here is already up there, and some more of it's going to go up there. So last night I slept up there. Ah, God, and I wanted to be in the car, I tell you. But here we are. We're down in Ventnor Bay. I'm just waiting to see what the rain clouds over there are going to do. I don't really want to get soaked. I definitely don't want to get soaked. Although it's okay at the moment, because I can put my wet clothes up in the room. Still don't want to get soaked though. I'm going to put my better shoes on, I think. These ones, what are they called? I can't remember. The Vibram soles by the look of it. Grisport. Grisport. They last forever. A lot of gamekeepers wear these apparently, which is not good because I'm not a fan of gamekeepers, but the brand is very good. Really tough. Walking shoes. Well, they're not walking shoes. I mean, they're kind of, don't know what you would call them really. Kind of a estate office, farm office type shoes that the old land agent will be wearing in the estate office out at the manor house. Those kind of shoes. So outdoor working shoes, but semi-formal, respectable. They do a boot version, which are for the guys out laying the hedges, or shooting the white-tailed eagles if they're a gamekeeper. Naughty boys or girls, usually boys. Back in the dark ages, out in the country. No, they're not. Don't say that, Steve. God, you're going to get loads more negative comments if you do that. Where are we? Just struggling to tie my laces now. Da, 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 da. This may take some time. Definitely fear it's time to go for a wander. Let me just put Strava on. Da, da, da. Record. Go. Go, go, go. Hold on a second. Let's put everything in the correct pockets. Phone over there. Chargy jobby thingy for the camera in there. You can't see where I'm putting this stuff, but bear with me. Right. Put my hood up. Don't know if you can see that. There we go. fully covered in me hood. It's a very good hood. Always lock your door. Cracking morning. Question is, which way should we go, people? I think we're going to go up here. So the room I've got is just up here, and it's really handy because there's a washing machine, there's a shower, and it means I can sort through everything that has accumulated in the car. And I want to give the car a deep clean as well, so I've asked Charlie's Detailing if I can book it into him. Hopefully I will be able to. But yeah, so last night I was in the room. I really want to be in the car though. I mean, I can sleep in it at the moment because the new mattress and everything is down, although I need to take it all out again to build the bed frame thingy. But I thought I might as well take advantage of the room just to get everything together, sort through all that junk, get a load of it to charity shops. It's not junk, it's just stuff. To charity shops, and then go from there. Not entirely sure where this walk is going to take us. I never really have a plan. It's Friday morning, by the way. My back is still a bit achy. Going up Esplanade Road at the moment. I think we'll go up these little steps here. As dawn breaks, first light. Can't hear any birdsong, you never do in this part of Ventnor really. Doesn't have enough trees and thickets. I mean, there's thickets here, but still a bit exposed. Out of breath already. What's the time, by the way? 7:29. Doesn't look particularly menacing, the cloud, does it? I think we're going to escape these showers that are going through. The radar looked promising. Belgrave Road, I believe. Lived here all my life and I still forget the name of the roads. Well, I've been local to here all my life. I've lived here on and off. Yeah, Belgrave Road, the rock that kind of shed a lot of itself a while ago, a year and a half ago maybe. And then got all this mesh put on it to keep it all in place, the rest of it. Wow, he wasn't speeding at all, was he? Can hear some jackdaws. It's a telephone box that's been adopted by Ventnor Enhancement Fund to be kept in place rather than removed. No telephone, obviously. Who uses payphones these days? Lots of people would if they were available, I'm sure. Although there was one available there up until very recently. Still got removed. Little bit of bird song, not very much. That van that just drove up, pretty windows, that's an electric van. And the guy who owns it also has a, what is it, Mustang, I think. It's a big engine, gas guzzling thing, and he loves the electric van. But he also loves his big gas guzzling Mustang. He's got a big truck as well. Diesel truck. God, he's going fast as well. Wow, that's a school bus, going really fast. There's a blackbird singing. Lovely. Early signs that birds are setting up territory for the spring. I think I'm going to go up slope, up zigzag maybe. This is Alpine Road. It's a road that island roads flatly refuse to resurface, even though it's in a shockingly bad state. It basically is concrete slabs with a tarmac kind of laminate over it, and it just peels off the laminate whenever they put it back on. It's a really not a good road surface, these concrete slabs. They shift and you can't dig down into it really. It's a massive job to dig down into it and put a decent layer of asphalt or whatever it is, tarmac on top. I don't know how roads are built or designed, but I think I'm vaguely right, broadly right. And I think the little garages down there may be an issue with instability, kind of cellars underneath. So all in all, a job they want to avoid until either the contract has ended and there's no time to do it, so dump it back on the council, or who will never do it, or just leave it to the very end of the contract and do it before it expires. Mixed feelings about island roads, because some of the roads on the island are in very good condition compared to some of the mainland. Like Suffolk is awful, Exeter is really bad. So some of the roads on the island compared to those are not bad at all, where you can see they've been resurfaced by island roads. But they do not cause a lot of angst with poorly thought out road closures and perpetual road closures. Trouble is they resurface a road and immediately the service companies come along and dig them up again and create their own little potholes by not filling them in properly. God, I'm really grumpy this morning. Moan, moan, moan. Let's have a look at this view. It's rather lovely, isn't it? Very nice. Go up this way. Just heading up, cutting through to Ocean View Road now. Whew. I do love these hikes. Ventnor definitely keeps you fit if you do actually walk. If you just drive everywhere, then it doesn't. Keep the old questions coming that I can answer on these videos. So earlier on this video you heard about my spending plans for this year, and that little slot, that 5-minute slot at the beginning of these videos comes directly from questions viewers have asked. So the more the merrier. So I had a very nice bump in viewers or views on my videos around Christmas Day, either side of Christmas Day, and then New Year's Day on either side of it. The usual Christmas New Year break bump in views and subscribers. I experienced it last year as well, just not anywhere near as good as this year. So welcome all you new subscribers and viewers. It's settled down now to a more realistic level. But I've learnt quite a lot from that bump in terms of the earning potential of this channel, or the ad revenue potential. So I'll update you all once I've got a little bit more data in, as in a couple more weeks worth of ad revenue information. I mean, it's still peanuts, but you can see, you know, you can roughly work out what a 4,000 views video might bring in terms of ad revenue, and 10,000 view video. I've had a couple of 60,000 view videos, well, one around the Christmas Day period and one around the Easter period. They were the bumps, and obviously they brought in more ad revenue, but they're outliers, so there's no point thinking about those. They're little bonuses when they occur. Shall we be brave? Come on, let's go up this way. This is a lot longer walk than I'd planned, but you know, there's the industrial estate. Just hope the battery on the camera lasts. There's somebody else walking down, probably a dog walker. Probably not. Morning, you right? Thank you very much. Cheers. Not a dog walker. I assume he works in Cheetah Marine. Don't know why I assume that, it's just my assumption. Or maybe I knew him, I just didn't look at him properly. There's a buzzard calling up there. Maybe he was a viewer. You never know. In his 20s, so probably not, but you never know. So that, when I get to the summit here, the Kissing Gate, this is the last hill I'm going to do. It's all downhill from just up here onwards, thankfully, because my legs are telling me it's too flipping early in the morning, you haven't had coffee yet. Although I have had coffee in the house first thing. Whew. It's quite funny, my habits are identical, so crashing in the room kind of every few nights. What I normally do is alternate between the room and the house for January, but my habit when I sleep in the room is exactly the same as it is when I sleep in the car. The only difference is, well, there's loads of differences. The main difference is that I'm in a fixed position with the house, whereas with the car I'm never in the same parking place 2 nights in a row. And frankly, well, it's interesting though, because I'm doing much longer hikes when I'm in the room. So when I'm in the car, I don't normally do big long hikes like this in the morning. I'm normally a lot lazier. Whereas in the room, I'm kind of forced to do these longer hikes, because otherwise it'd be really boring just walking around Ventnor Bay. Not that Ventnor Bay is boring, but I want to, start off in Ventnor Bay, then walk out as I'm doing this morning. But But yeah, my habit hasn't changed when I'm in the room. I wake up at about 6:30 in the morning. There's a yaffling green woodpecker. Wake up early, put the kettle on rather than the gas stove. Make a cup of decaf coffee with oat milk. Drink that, check YouTube, answer comments, and then go for a walk. It's exactly what I do when I'm in the car. Creature of habit. So this is Combe Bottom, and there's the industrial estate, which used to be the railway station, the main Ventnor railway station. The tunnel is there somewhere, and the station used to be just spread across here. And it's basically all intact still, as in the tunnel is still perfectly serviceable. You can certainly put trains through there, and the track bed, when it comes out in Wroxall, loops round to Shanklin, and it's in perfectly salvageable condition. So actually reinstating the railway would not be a big headache in engineering terms. The one little issue is that Southern Water have their sea clean white sewage pipe going through the tunnel. So I don't know whether what the gauge of that pipe is, is that the right word? How big it is. And I don't know if there's a gauge of small train you could fit and still have that pipe in there. It's completely exposed, the pipe. So that might cause issues if you have a train crash. You also have a sewage crisis on your hands. Don't know if it could be boxed in. I don't know if they want it boxed in. Don't know if the vibration of a train going through would cause problems. If you could have a fully electric train, almost a small, tiny tram system going through there, that might work. It'd be well worth somebody, either a wealthy individual or Isle of Wight Council, which is not a wealthy organisation, if they could commission a proper engineering study, just to work out, well, and an economic study as well, I suppose, work out if it's actually technically feasible to reinstate the railway, and if so, would it make financial sense in terms of deliverability, financing of the actual construction, which wouldn't be massive, I don't think, unless the sewage pipe is a big issue and needs to be relocated or something. And then if it would make financial sense going forward in terms of likely passenger numbers, quite possibly would. It might boost the overall train line because it would connect directly into the Shanklin to Ryde service, which I assume is viable, but it may be heavily subsidised, I don't know. I shall have to do a more in-depth video on this subject. Should we reinstate the railway to Ventnor? And then should you put in some sort of cable car system from the railway down into Ventnor Bay? I've actually mapped that out in a previous life, and there is a route you can go through, go down, which is totally clear of houses and that. So again, in engineering terms, a cable car system, even a little funicular type railway, might be feasible. Take it down into Grove Road car park from the terminus, where the terminus pub used to be, or just over the road from there. I'm going to make a note of that as a video theme for this channel. Obviously railways has nothing to do with living in a car, but you know, might be interesting. Hang on, no, I don't want to send myself an email reminder. I want to put it on my list of video ideas, populated mostly by you people. There we go. Won't forget that one now. When I said earlier that the Kissing Gate down there was the summit, I lied. This is the summit, because I'm still going uphill. I forgot about this little section. at the little ice house or whatever that is. I think that's was that a little ice house or something? It's got a domed, is that the right word? Roof, not I don't know. Is it a domed roof? Tell me, people in the comments section. So I promise I will read up on Ventnor history, just so I can be better informed in these videos. But for now, you're going to have to Google it for me and tell me in the comments section. Or chat GPT it, or grok it, or whatever the cool kids of today do. Coombe Bottom. Look at that. How long has it taken me to get up here? Let me have a look at Strava. I do like Strava, it gives you some good statistics or good data. So, distance 0.92 of a mile, 27 minutes so far. Speed 1.5 miles per hour. Surprised I'm going that fast, to be honest. Hang on, and what was the time? Remembering the cafe opens at 9, but I usually get down there at 8:30. It's 7:52. Plenty of time. I'm not bonkers. I'm not going to go up that slope. Now we're going downhill, and I fully intend to continue to go downhill. But in summer, I will definitely do that climb, because the wildflowers through here are just superb, spectacular, absolutely eye-wateringly beautiful. Right, I'm going to go down this steep bit. Oh God, there's another little hill just down there. So I'm going down into a dip and then I've got to climb out the dip again. How annoying. It's quite funny. Black Crag, I think that's what your name is, would chuckle at my moaning about little tiny hikes like this, given what he does over, is it the Pennines? Don't know. Oh, it's a bunny. Don't see many rabbits these days. It's nice to see one. Trying to avoid the cowpats. Ecologically very good. There are lots of invertebrates that like cowpats, dung beetles and related critters, and they do a lot of really good work. They obviously recycle the dung, because they lay their eggs in the dung, and then the babies, the grubs hatch out, feast on the dung as you would, which is basically grassy straw stuff with cattle, although it's very runny. But there's a lot of fibre in there, I should imagine. And then burrow down into the soil underneath the cowpat, pupate, or whatever the word is. You can tell I got a master's in ecology, can't you? Pupate, and then hide in the soil over winter and then hatch out again in the spring. As an adult, fly off and find some more dung. And of course they didn't evolve to chill out in domestic cattle dung. They evolved to chill out in aurochs and European bison dung. It's a lovely robin there. Marvellous. A bit muddy here. So aurochs are globally extinct, but their genes live on in cattle, because cattle were bred from aurochs, wild cattle. European bison, their numbers went down to vanishingly few. I think something like 5 or 6 individuals globally, and then they were saved, and then they've been bred, and now we have lots of European bison knocking around Europe. Now I'm going to scramble up the slope, I think, to avoid this mud. Although these shoes are good, they're not very tall. So if I go into a deep muddy puddle, I'm going to get very wet feet, and I don't want wet feet, and I don't want waterlogged shoes in the car. I'm trying to get rid of the moisture. The passenger seat well, obviously the passenger seat I took out of the car when I had my flood, that passenger seat well filled up with water, and I didn't really notice because it was all under the bed, and that's where a lot of the moisture problems have come from. So I stripped all of that out. I'm going to take the carpet out, I think, because somebody said in the comments section that, or they suggested that might be a good idea. Expose the metalwork. Presumably I can cover that in Dodo mat, the sound deadening stuff, rubber stuff. And if any moisture does get in there, it's not going to be absorbed. It's just going to be sat there so I can get it out, wipe it out with cloths or whatever. But I fixed the leak, so that's not going to happen again. Got a nice thorn in my shoe, it's really good. It's keeping me on my toes, literally. By digging into the sole of my foot. Whoa. Well, that jarred me back. That was nice. It's probably set me back a week. Ouch. Whew. I'm doing stretching exercises at the moment. Not dead hangs, but near as damn to it as I can get. Stretching out the muscles around the spine. Trying to build up my core muscle strength. Because one of the reasons, well, I think the reason my back is playing up is because a lack of core muscle kind of condition. So although I do a lot of walks like this, and a bit of I've got those exercise bands for a bit of strength training. I've not really focused any effort on core strength training, the back muscles and the stomach muscles and that sort of stuff. And that's one of the reasons why my back is a bit dodgy. Another obvious reason is because I sleep in a cold car over winter, and it flares up in winter. So, you know, it doesn't take a genius to work out what the issues are. It's muscle, and it's cold, and lack of proper exercising and muscle conditioning and strengthening. Some people have said, well, it's because you lie or you sleep in a car, but they don't realise that I've got a proper bed in the car. I will do a video on that. So it's not what you would think. You would think that it's, you know, what, is he sleeping in the passenger seat or sorry, the driver's seat, or is he all hunched up in there, fetal position? But no, the length of the bed space is about 6.5, 7 foot. The mattress itself is only, well, it's less than 6 foot. I'm only 5'8", I think. So I can stretch out in there. I can lay on my back fully stretched out, and yeah, move around, lay on my side, lay on my front. It's all perfectly, you know, the same as being in a conventional bed, but it's a bit narrower. But it's still a lot wider than I am. It's still, you know, I've still got 4 inches either side of me in the bed. Well, well, maybe 3 inches either side of me in the bed. I'm not a big framed person. But anyway, yeah, the point being that it's a perfectly flat and very comfortable bed. The only unconventional thing about it is getting into it, which means, you know, I have to scramble from the driver's seat into the bed. That's fine. Good bit of exercise. Right, is this little rickety staircase here is going to collapse probably quite soon. And I'm always a bit leery about going down here because well, it's not a big fall, but there's a bit of a crevasse down there that's going to collapse into eventually. Although it's been like this since I was a lad, and it hasn't collapsed yet, so maybe not. Chaffinch is calling. Lovely. Eventually I'll invest in a better microphone that has better, is it gain, is that the word? Can pick up more distant sounds better. I mean, the DJI Mini microphone, which is the one I use now, is a good microphone. Well, you tell me, is the sound quality any good? But it's the cheapest on the market of the decent DJI microphones. And there are better quality microphones on the market that are equally tiny. I'll show you the size of it actually, it's pinned on my hat. Oh no. Hopefully you can see that. Little tiny thing. Is that focused? I don't know. But yeah, little tiny microphone. Put it back on my hat. This is where Charlie's detailing is. Which is where I want to take my car to be cleared out. Or as in, deep cleaned on the inside. I doubt Charlie will be here at the moment. I sent him a message and he hasn't replied. Deary me. Deary me. Yeah, just round there. Nice little electric car there. This road, it must be 2 years now that this road has been closed. Tell me in the comments section, this is South Grove Road. And it's closed because a little tiny section of wall down here, we'll walk past it, is a little bit unstable. And they've asked the owner of the wall to get it sorted. But they've done nothing else. You know, if this was on the mainland, this would not be closed for a couple of years whilst they wait for the landowner to actually sort the wall out so they can reopen the road. What I guess they would do, and what I think they have the powers to do, local authorities, is to do the work and charge the landowner. Although I suppose the ownership of the wall may be in dispute because it's a dual access. Well, it's Macrocarpa is the name of the road, and it's dual access to multiple properties. So I suppose that's a bit of a legal minefield, who is actually liable. In which case, well, what do you do? I was going to say just fix it, but that would be at the taxpayer's expense, or at the council taxpayer's expense. And is that what we really want? Private individuals to get away with dumping their costs onto the taxpayer, or the council taxpayer? Probably not. Lovely little road this, lovely views across the sea and back up onto Ventnor Downs, or up onto the Holm Oak Forest. It's another little video idea there, talking about the Holm Oaks and whether we're going to get wildfires. Yeah, so just down here is a section of road that's been closed. That's a lovely van. Is that short wheelbase, or I think you can get them slightly shorter than that. But if I had the money, I'd get a van like that. So I'm holding off because one of my viewers has very kindly said he has a van that he might be able to well, donate basically. So I'm gonna. He says it might be available from March, so I need to email the guy back. It's incredibly kind. I'd obviously give him some money for it, but It might be, well, it's not like that, but yeah, it is a ford. So certainly, yeah, this is a section of road. Or section of wall, I mean. So it's multiple access along macrocarpa above it, backing onto a public highway. I think the principle is that if the wall is retaining private land above a public highway, then it's the responsibility of whoever owns the private land. Whereas if the wall is retaining public land, like a public road above another public highway, then it's the responsibility of the council. I think that's what Island Roads say, something like that, which seems reasonable to me, but it does mean areas are held in ransom like this is, if that indeed is what's happening. There's a little pretty cat hunting there, having a play. Push, push. This wall section also went, but it looks like the landowner got it done pretty quick. Hello, puss puss. Yeah, they're definitely independents, aren't they? Pretty cats. If that was a dog, he'd come up and say hello. Cats? Nah, not so much. They do their own thing. Of course, you can look back into the ecology of the two different groups of a species, and it would become obvious when you do that, because cats in the wild are generally, well, no, are always highly territorial and kind of keep to themselves. So you normally have, well, yeah, you normally have a pair in a territory. Well, slightly different. So, yeah, it may not be that way, but it is roughly that way. So cats are territorial and solitary. You know, they pair up, but they don't have big groups of cats. Whereas many canids, or at least some canids, some dogs, are more social. So wolves obviously live in packs. Even foxes, you tend to get kind of younger vixens living with mum for a couple of years. You often get that. And helping out with raising the pups, the cubs. Asiatic wild dog and African wild dog, they're very social. Obviously, domestic dogs were domesticated from wolves. So wolves are a very social pack animal. All of which points to wolves, and therefore domestic dogs, being friendly and sociable to pack members, which is basically the owner and some friends. Whereas cats are very much do their own thing, but they're not stupid. They know they're being fed, so they stick with humans just because that's a supply of food. Then they occasionally get the ear stroked when they ask for it. They'll claw you if they didn't ask for it, obviously. It's all on their own terms. Yeah, what's the time now? So 9 minutes past 8. So still plenty of time. Just try to think if there's an exception to that principle, to that generality, that cats are kind of antisocial or territorial. So the male and females defend their territories, and they don't live in groups. There must be an exception, and many wild dog species like wolves and African wild dog, they are territorial still. They just live in big groups within a territory, a pack. Don't think any canids are not at all territorial. I think they all are also territorial. They're just, many of them do live in small groups. Anyway, change the subject, Steve. Well, I'm probably going to turn the camera off just here. I don't like to walk through town with recording everybody particularly. Although it's quite early, so it's not that busy, is it? I can record a bit. Maybe I can take a route that avoids too many people. Not everyone wants to be on a YouTube video. Looking nicely maintained. Spring gardens. Very good. Keep off the wall. Please keep off the wall. Keep off the wall. CCTV. It's the old electric charging points here, which are on quite a slope. So I was thinking that if I did eventually get an electric van, which I'm not going to, but I'm just speaking hypotheticals here. If I was to get one, I was thinking I could just park up here overnight whenever it needs charging. But there's a bit of a slope, so it depends on the van and the bed. If the bed was going crossways, then you could park here and just put your head on the upslope side, depending on where the charging port is on the car. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to do it anytime soon. There's one electric car, a Leaf, parked there charging up. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, not bad. Hello. Hello, buddy. Hello.
He's generally disinterested.
Yeah.
Yeah, only interested in what he wants to do, really.
In the smells, eh?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah,
It's gorgeous.
all right?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm recording. Do you want this deleted out when in the video? No. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you see it all the time, don't you, on YouTube now?
Yeah.
People go mad about it, don't you?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I've got a channel which I do vlogging style videos on. Hello.
Yeah, well, I've seen a few of them.
Have you? Cool. Oh yeah, you commented, haven't you, I think? Yeah. Yeah. Oh well, carry on. Need to go and get a coffee
Yeah.
when they're open. See you later.
Yeah, see you later. We're not going across the road, we're going this side.
See ya. Cheers. Do like Ventnor, lots of lovely people. Not everyone wants to be recorded though, so I usually try to ask if I start talking to somebody. Da, 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 da. Well, I should imagine the battery's almost flat on this camera now. If it's still running, let me check. Yeah, it's still recording. Amazing. Fiat Dublo is that? Or something like that anyway. Maybe not. I think that's is it Fiat so-called Rams in the US? Like Ram ProMaster City, those kind of vehicles. Which another really good YouTuber, Static Camper Van, if you don't know him, Scott, do subscribe to him, go and check out Static Camper Van. He did live in a Ram ProMaster City, which I think is the same as a Fiat Duplo or whatever they call them, but is now in a car, but quite a large one. It's basically a car type van type thing. He's got a great channel. Yeah, this kind of van would be perfect, I think. Transit Custom. Obviously not as new as that, but that would cost a bit. Oh yeah, you're right. Might as well drop down into Wheelers. It's still only, what is the time now? 8:17. Like I say, the cafe opens at 9, so plenty of time. Blackbird. Oh, yeah. Yo. Morning. You all right? All right. This collie up here is really cool. He's very, very lively. But then collies are very, very lively. I used to have one called Trigger. She was a she, but she was called Trigger. And she was crazy, full of energy. Always wanting to play, constantly. Hello. Hey, buddy. Tormenting him there by saying, hello, buddy, and then not going and saying hello to him. Oh well. Going down to Wheelers on a slightly different route. Might have to start parking in this car park more often. I do it a few times, but not as often as I probably should. So the battery on the main camera just ran out. So, by way of little experiment, I've gone back to recording on my iPhone Mini 13. Old school. I did all my old videos on this camera, on my phone, and I've connected the mini mic to it, so hopefully the sound quality is fine. So my early videos on this channel, I never used to use a microphone, I just used the camera microphone, so the wind sound was awful. I've learnt my lesson, and the last 4 or 5 years, no, 3 or 4 years, I've been using proper microphones. Look at that. So I'm pretty sure it's going to look different on the phone. Tell me in the comments section, which do you prefer? It may be identical, I don't know. The image stabilization is not going to be anywhere near as good on the phone, because there isn't any. It's an old school phone. What can you do, eh? And it's not mounted on a gimbal, it's mounted on my hand. And it's going to run out of storage space, so I don't know how far we'll get. We might get back into Ventnor Bay. Don't think we'll get as far as the car. What I might do is pause it every so often, just like that. There's some nice waves here crashing over the rocks. Get a bit of that, I think. There were waves crashing. Oh, here comes one. Yay! Very cool, and another. Yay! Love it. A angry sea. Gonna get wet if I stand there too long. Hey. Almost got soaked there. Trying to avoid that if I can. What a lovely time of year this is. That is so cool. So the older battery ran out in my other camera, so left it at that before we got to Wheelers Bay, unfortunately. But thank you for watching. Give you a view of Ventnor, and stay tuned for the next video. Right, a quick interlude. I really hope you're enjoying my channel, and I get quite a lot of questions how did you end up living in a car? How do you live in a car? And what are your plans going forward? Well, I've written a book on that subject, Breaking Free, by Cornish van dweller, funnily enough. You can find a link to where to purchase that in the description below this video, and where you'll also find links to my other books, such as this one, oddly enough, which is How to Write a Book on a Smartphone. And this book was actually written on my iPhone Mini 13 using voice to text dictation. And you'll also find this book, Bird Watching Around Ventnor. Link to that in the description below this video, and this one as well, Wildlife Watching Around Ventnor. I've written about 10 books, all of which are linked in the description below this video. Right, let's get back to watching my videos.